How you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there. I'm doing,
Yeah,
yeah. How about you guys?
dude. I'm not gonna lie. We had a podcast earlier, and then I watched a hockey game. We won, and now I'm back down here again, so I'm on good spirits right now.
Beautiful. Who's your team?
Nashville Predators.
Oh, okay.
Where you at? You out of LA area? Where you at?
I'm in Seattle.
Seattle, Washington. Okay. Uh, who's up that way?
So we got the T-Birds, uh, Kraken.
Kraken. Yeah, that's what I was trying
Yeah.
trying to think. They're newer. Yeah, I was trying to think of their
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. I don't
They have
know
the
too much.
best colors though.
Yeah. 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 It's
So
great.
how is how's the studio life going?
Busy. It's
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a live not too long ago with is it your girlfriend, your wife?
Girlfriend? The
Girl?
Yeah, with the green hair and
Yeah, yeah. Um, and you guys were in, I guess, like in the kitchen or in the living room or something, just making some fucking shit, dude. Like it was
yeah.
fucking cool. Um,
Thank you. No, we're doing that right now. I literally walked away. I had an alarm set on the a timer out there so I can remember to come in here and do this. But we were out there making more bodies and prosthetics and everything right now.
So what are
And
you working on in particular right now?
we got three films we're working on. We were working on The Death of Snow White, is the big one. And then we have a monster movie with we're making some creature insect eggs that some stuff happens with that I can't talk about. And then Conjuring the Cult, which is we're filming in a few weeks. Um, and so we're making some prosthetics for that for some of the effects. So
nice.
Now, for all three of those movies, is it just the special effects you're working on, or are you doing any acting or anything like that?
I'm doing a little bit of creature acting and Conjuring. The bug one I'm not acting in. We're just doing the special effects. And the Death of Snow White, I'm writing and directing that one. I'll have a kind of a cameo part in it just because I like to act as well. So throw myself in, why not? But my Real Fiction Studios company, run by my partner Naomi, who you mentioned, and Michelle, another person. We're doing all the special effects for that. So
Nice.
we got our plate full.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And Death of Snow White, that's in 2025, correct? I think I saw
Yep.
that. Nice,
March
nice,
2025 should be out in
awesome,
theaters then.
cool, man.
Oh,
That's
cool.
awesome.
Cool. So can you go into detail about any of that right there?
Sure. What would you like to know?
I mean, I want to hear it. I want to hear anything and everything you got about it.
Yeah, it sounds like, is this a play off of Snow White, obviously, or is this something completely
Yeah,
different? Yeah, it is. Okay,
you know,
cool.
I mean, the original Snow White is, Brothers Grimm story. It's very dark. It's a lot darker fairy tale, and um, basically, it kind of started. We have, the Disney's making their own version of Snow White coming out March 2025. Daily Wire decided to make one, and they're kind of like the more wholesome versions. And we know we were talking about it, and one of our good friends and actors, Sanaya Lutzis, she's been in many of our films, and her dad, executive producer Sean Lutzis, were talking like, man, it'd be kind of fun to play Snow White, and just got to talking and was like, well, why don't we make a more horror centric one and make it darker like the originals? And they asked me to write and direct that. So I wrote it and I'm like, I'll do it, but it's going to be dark. Dark as fuck, it's got to be like it's
Yeah,
gonna be brutal. So can I swear on here? I don't
Oh
know.
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, just making sure. Uh, so I'm like, this is going to be, full of body horror, gore. It'll be more intense, suspense, and all that stuff. So I'm going to try to throw as much horror elements as possible, but stay real to the dark fantasy that it really is, just by including those things too. So we started writing it, and it was kind of like started off as kind of a fun little project where we're like, let's see where it could go. And then by the time we got done with the script, we all kind of sat back and looked at it. And we're all of us are like, wow, we put a lot into this, and it's actually really strong, solid story. It's a really good project, and it's become way bigger than we expected it to be. So it's definitely very ambitious. It should be out around the same time as these other guys have theirs out, so people have a chance to go either watch both, and see them, or choose which one they like. So they'll have options. They can go watch the nice, floofy, wholesome version, or they can go watch the dark horror version that they should definitely not take their kids to.
That's cool
So
though, man. I'm very into like that horror fantasy style, which just seems like the stories are it's always more latched to the stories, you know what I mean? And you can play around a lot with that. So that sounds super exciting.
it
Oh,
does.
it's so much
You said
fun.
it was coming to theaters, right?
Yeah.
Is it? Do you know which ones? Is it select theaters or is it all theaters or?
That we're still waiting to hear from. We have several producers on board who have much experience working with getting it in the theaters and all that stuff. So we have our plans that we're trying to work through, negotiate with distributors and all that stuff. So our goal, hopefully would be in 1,000 or more theaters across the country. So,
Sweet.
you know,
Nice.
other smaller indie films like, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey or Terrifier 2, they had their theater run. We have some of the same kind of people on board to help us with that and get that going. And it's looking pretty good. We got a Rocket Pig just signed on as well as producers who's got quite a bit of experience. And a couple other producers from LA. People are jumping on this. They're really enjoying the story and what we're doing. So we've got a lot of great support. On all facets of this project, and a lot of motivated people getting us where we need to go.
Yeah,
Good.
when you do a story like that that's kind of already you know
When
has been
established.
yeah
Established,
established,
yeah.
Yeah,
it seems like you can get some good backing for something like that, it's already stable.
Yeah,
exactly.
they just dropped all that shit though. That's why people are like starting to jump on this. Is that the case, right?
Yeah, what is it like when things come out of copyright, it's what, like 100 years or whatever it is. Like, I don't know. I
It's
know you're seeing the Steamboat Willie thing and then the Winnie the Pooh thing, and it's, a certain amount of time.
it is, but this one's been out in public domain for quite a while. So I
Nice.
mean, you've seen like The Huntsman. There's a ton of
Yeah.
Snow White
Oh, true.
cartoons. This has been out for quite a while. It just happened to be kind of in the news
Yeah.
and talking about it. And it's Sean, our executive producer, the daughter. They're massive Disney fans. They've been to Disneyland multiple times, every year. They love the place. They love the story. Snow White's one of their favorites, and it just happens that the daughter, who's an actress, resembles Snow White, and kind of a dream to always play that character. But, they obviously she's not playing it for Disney. And we had this opportunity as filmmakers to kind of make our own version and tell it in the story, the type of story that we tell, which, what we're good at is horror. And that's what we like. So we're creating a very dark world, but it still stays very true. This is definitely not going to be one of those, cash grab slasher quick
Right.
like, wait, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah.
more. The story is solid. We go into some of the details that people haven't gone into in the other past versions. We kind of read between the lines in some of the places, tell some backstory on some things, and redefine a few things very intelligently within the story to give it a new life um, uh, and some fun. So it's not the same story you've seen. It's familiar, but it's not a repeat of anything that's been done.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's fun. I like that.
yeah, that's good to hear as well, just so you know, like, with the cash grab thing, I feel like, with some of these ones coming out, it's like you can just use the name and probably make quite a bit of money just on that, as long as you have some production backing you. But it's good to hear that you guys are taking it more seriously than that. As far as writing it goes, I mean, I'm sure it probably takes quite a bit of research to do a story that's already established, but you have to kind of make it your own at the same time. But you want to stay somewhat true to that fairy tale. Like, go into that a little bit.
Yeah. The first thing we did was Naomi and I kind of sat down. We talked about it for several days, and we're like, what do we do? It's got to be the story. What do we want to make? What would we want to see? Because in all honesty, when I first sat down and they asked me to do it, it wasn't my favorite project to do. I'm like, I got my own movies I want to make. I've got a couple things that I've been waiting to, sitting on to go make as well. And so we thought about it. I'm like, well, what would make it interesting? If there was a Snow White movie in the theater, would I want to go see it? No, I probably wouldn't pay money to go in there. What would get me in the theater? So I kind of started from that point and was like, okay, so if it was a dark fantasy with a horror element, okay, now I'm interested. And so we sat down and we're like, okay, here's our characters. Here's the main characters. What has been done before that we know of? Because we haven't seen all the Snow White movies or anything like that and all the content. But we're like, what do we know about these characters? And what don't we know? What do we want to know? What do we want to see that hasn't been done? And so we started pinning ideas everywhere and making little more boards and saying, okay, if we start here and then we know we want to end here, how can we fill in these gaps? And then also with uh, Sean and Sanaya being massive fans, they follow all the message boards. They follow the fans. They are fans. And they're like, this is what we're disappointed in what Disney's doing. This is what we're disappointed in with Daily Wire. This is what we're disappointed in the past with other films. And as a fan, here's what we wish people would stick to with the originals and stuff. So we listened to that. We took the fan feedback as well and considered that. We didn't just write to that, but we considered it. And I thought, okay, well, how can we get from point A to point B and have the shit absolutely hit the fan and hit everyone all the way through, and how can we make this dark and how can we make this, have more dire consequences, and why? And so we kind of started with that. We did our little outline board and started putting it together. And when we got done with it, everything just fell right into place. And we kind of sat back and looked at each other like, wow, that I want to see. And we got excited. And so we quickly wrote the script, got the story together. We brought in our director of photography, Cody Newton, who's an amazing director and storyteller himself. And he saw it and he's like, wow, I could not put it down. Like, this is really fun. It kept me, it gripped me the entire time. But it made me think of this and think of that. And so we kind of collaborated with him a little bit and kind of fine-tuned it and brought some more pieces together, consolidated a few things, and just really refined it. But it's fun. It's interesting, and we don't get tired of reading it. Sometimes you write a script and you have to go through it over and over and over again. But this one, we've not gotten there. It's still fun to read through because just the characters are amazing and what happens and why it's great.
Now, forgive me for this, but Snow White, it's the one with the apple, right?
It is.
Okay. How are you pulling that off in a way?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
not the way it's been pulled off.
Okay.
So yeah, and some of the complaints and some of the controversy around the ones that are being made is the apple. Some people do it, some people don't. The kiss where the prince comes in the original story and kisses Snow White, wakes her up out of her spell. Well, some people are like, you can't kiss her because she's asleep and unconscious and she's not consenting to the kiss.
Right,
So I don't want to do that, and so they're saying that. And some people are saying, no, it's part of the original story. Just fucking do it. And but we're doing it. But we're redefining it a little bit.
right.
But it's darker. It's not like, oh yeah, we're just gonna throw a kiss in. Like there's more to it. More reason to it. And it's gonna be fun to see people's reaction to how this plays out. But that's one of the things, like the fan feedback, where we're listening and hearing like these are the important things to the hardcore fans.
And that fan base is they're fucking nuts. Like Disney fan bases, man, they're wild. I went to the one down in Orlando, whichever one that is, and wow, so many adults there without kids, and they're just there. Like they fucking love it.
Hardcore, dude. It's so funny that you have to I never thought we'd live in an age where you had to get creative with the source material, because of the way times are and all that kind of stuff. That's super interesting. I guess it could pull some more, it can allow you to be more creative, I guess, but it's so funny that you have to hone in on that kind of stuff and be like, make sure you don't do something that, you obviously you'll do whatever you want to do. And if people like it or people don't, that's whatever. But when you have to pay attention to those types of details, it's super interesting. I never thought we'd be in a time like that, but here we are.
Yeah, and it happens. And I can understand both sides of the argument, because the world is just crazy right now. So I get it, but we've somehow smartly managed to avoid all of that. And we're just making the story that is right for us. We don't have any agenda. We're not trying to push one side or another. We're not trying to prove anything in those ways. We told a story where it makes sense, and it's not, I don't believe, is going to cause anyone any pain from either side. So I think just by the nature of the story we're telling, it solved itself in a way that can appease many people on
Nice.
accident.
Good.
Yeah, it's nice when you can
Yeah.
leave politics out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't seem like they belong in movies anyway, right? Especially,
Yeah.
you know, lower budget movies or, you know, movies that fans ourselves are creating, you know?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
even still, like you feel like you said, you don't feel like you've wrote it to where it might not offend somebody, even if it does. Who the fuck cares?
You
Like
do
Right.
what
who fucking
you do
cares?
what you can do. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we'll stand behind it. We know what we're making,
You like
and
it. That's all
what
that
our hearts
matters.
are behind it. And yeah, it's
Yeah,
someone's always going to find something wrong
of
no matter
course.
what you do, because
Mhm.
some people are looking for it. But I mean, I've been making movies for many years, and you put something out there, someone's going to dislike it because it's popular. Someone's going to dislike it because you were more successful than them. Someone's going to hate it because they have a past trauma in their life or something. There's a lot of different reasons why someone's going to dislike it, but we're in a good place where I think we can stand behind what we're making.
So
Nice.
I'm assuming there's going to be probably a shit ton of practical effects, right?
Oh, percent, yeah.
Yeah. What do you
Good to
think blood
hear.
wise? How many gallons?
Let's put a
Um,
precise number on it.
let's see. I am budgeting for probably at least 30 gallons of blood.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
And for very soon. But that doesn't go very far when you have a lot of characters. You have battles and you have knights and civilians and
And
a lot of things like that.
tours.
But there's gonna be a lot. There's some really intense body horror and things that hopefully or should make people cringe and kind of want to look away. But there's going to be also, the violence and the horror of the world and the nature of this fantasy environment that happens. That's just horrible. Um, and the evil queen, she's a scary bitch. She's,
Nice. As they
she,
should be.
yeah. And we take her further. Um, she's got problems, she's got the way she sees herself. There's a lot of horror in history that we're pulling from and beauty practices that have been done throughout um, centuries. And, women have gone and chased this uh, for whatever reason. And there's some really horrific thing from arsenic poisoning to, people have, I won't go into everything because I don't want to spoil it, but there's some really barbaric, horrific beauty practices that have happened that this queen is like going to be trying herself. And it's just gross.
I've got a question. Is it
Yeah.
modern? Is it modern day Snow White or is it
No, we're
no?
going for
Okay.
Going
we're going for
back.
the medieval style,
Okay.
which increases our budget significantly because
Yeah.
Yeah,
it doesn't exist
definitely.
out here. So we have to build it. We can't just go down to the store and go buy the wardrobe and the costumes and
Yeah.
sets. So we were building our sets on about 10,000 square foot set with our village and castle, and we're going on location to a castle and got a few locations we're going to, but for the most part, we're building the set. We have to buy costumes, weapons, um, and all that. So because it just
Damn.
doesn't exist. It's
Yeah,
quite
Yeah.
no, yeah, it's expensive shit.
Yeah. Period pieces are on another level.
it is. And then the amount of cast and crew it's going to take to pull this off, it's it's a very big endeavor. So yeah, we have a couple investors who are doing this privately, which is great. I know they're looking for a couple more people who might want to jump on. So it's but it's definitely something that's going to be special.
Are you excited?
I could not be more excited.
I bet.
Good.
Honestly, like I said, when I first was given the assignment and kind of like, hey, we want you, we think you'd be the best person to spearhead this. I was like, yeah, but it's Snow White. I like, some Disney stuff. I've enjoyed myself going to Disneyland the couple times I have. And like I don't have a big problem one way or another, but and I've appreciated some of the stuff they put out, but Snow White was not my thing. And as much it's like I can appreciate the story and I can appreciate what's been done. I've gone out, I've seen the Huntsman, I've seen Snow White, I've seen all the stuff, Mirror Mirror. But then once we got into it and we wrote the story and it became ours, it definitely this story,
Became
like
fun.
this became fun.
Yeah.
This became the story I want to tell.
How many
And
times did you watch Snow White, the cartoon?
once, you
Yeah.
know,
Once.
yeah, only once, and it was a while ago, many years ago. So I felt like, and I don't want to get so into it that I'm watching all these things because then your brain starts thinking it puts itself in a box.
Yeah.
Says this is the only thing. So we before we watched any other movie, we went and we wrote it all out. And then after we wrote it, we started passing it around to the a couple of producers. We decided to then Naomi and I were like, well, let's go watch Mirror Mirror. Let's go watch this one or that one and go see what they've done. Make sure that there's nothing that's too similar. And luckily, there's like nothing that's like ours other than characters that exist with their common types and their common personalities, like the evil queen is evil and Snow White is pure and all that stuff. So that's the only really common denominator is we know that there's an apple, she falls asleep. In most of the story, she falls asleep and is awoken by the prince. And um, so we hit the beats.
It's the story, just dark.
Is the story just dark and slightly different?
Horrific.
We put like a more realistic tone around it. And like so it's not just like surface things. The cartoon, actually we did watch that one. It was one of the first ones we did watch. I was kind of half asleep. But yeah, we noticed like a lot of stuff didn't happen until the last 20 minutes, but it just really kind of there's a lot of singing and it hit little beats along the way.
Oh, do you have any singing? I forgot about the singing.
Yeah. And
That'd be wild.
but we like kind of define those moments. So it's almost like you could almost look at it. This is the dark, real story, and the other fluffy ones are kind of like the sugar-coated versions that they don't go
Yeah.
into
I
details.
got you. I
Why
got you.
this? And so yeah,
That's
I like
cool. Yeah.
that. So
That's a good idea to write it first. And then you're just pulling and picking from the source material rather than having the source material trying to just pinpoint your own ideas into that story. It's like you
yeah,
already have your whole thing. It's like, oh, well, let's pick this, this, and this because it's, the source material. And then we can rework it into our story instead of being like, okay, well, we have to stay true to this. So let's put our idea here, here, and here. And then it doesn't feel more like yours, It's this way. It's pretty much all yours. And then you're going to say, hey, well, we're going to follow this, this, and this. And hopefully people like it.
right. And we thought the Grimm would be the Grimm brothers is the source.
Yeah.
Like they're the original, they're the source. So if there's anything that we're going to fact check or pull from, it'll be that. And
Right.
so, as we wrote, we're like, this character, would they not? Are they? Let's look at Grimm. And so that was kind of what we did. And then afterwards is when we were like, okay, we got our story, we love it. Let's watch this other stuff. And there's no conflict, no overlap. They all still kind of tie in together. This one's just a lot darker and hope your stomach can stay through it.
Nice. That's what I love to
good.
hear.
So
That's
you mentioned what is it, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and then Terrifier and stuff like that. Is it would you consider it along those lines, or would you more modest almost, or what would you think?
I've not seen Blood and Honey yet. It's
yeah,
on the list. I've got a whole bunch of things I'm having to watch, and that's one. Terrifier 2, I did see that one. And is it along those lines in terms of
Just
like,
like practical effects and shit like
oh
that.
yeah,
yeah.
100%.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I appreciate and respect Damien for all the practical effects he does and what he does. And I feel like we are the Real Fiction Studios team is very much on par with that. Like we do the same, we've got a very similar style in what we do and build. We have a reel up on realfictionstudios.com you can check out and just see some of the stuff. We can't wait to add what we've done over the last year. It's not out yet, but that's the vibe style. Is that or more.
Nice.
And um it'll be brutal and gross. And that's what we really pride ourselves on is that
Yeah. With you
practical
be
effects realism.
Yeah, with you being a special effects artist, like you have that like Damien has. You have that grasp to it to where you could bring it in,
Yeah. You
and
can
And
write.
and thankfully that's coming back too within the horror genre where it seems like we got away from that a little bit, with a lot of CGI stuff coming out, and that's all
yeah,
swell. I have no problem with it, but as far as indie horror goes or stuff like that, it's like, I mean, the practical effects are, the
where it's
movies we
at.
all grow up watching is that type of film, so I'm glad it's making a comeback.
Me
um
too.
yeah, it's good to hear that.
Yeah, for sure. And our favorite thing is when we're playing, we're either showing other people on set, producers or anything like, oh, this is going to be in the film. Here's what we're doing. And then they turn away and like, oh God, it's gross. It's like, that's not even filmed yet. It's not even the final thing.
Right.
Or even on the reel. We just were on a set last weekend showing a reel to some of the actors there who are, they're all excited about Snow White and how can I be a part? We're showing them a reel and they're just like, can't even finish some of that. So it's really fun and feels really, really rewarding to kind of get that.
Yeah,
that.
Oh,
definitely.
I
Have
bet.
you
Hell
have
yeah.
you guys had a table rate read yet?
No, not yet. We are still casting some of the characters. We got some names involved that we're hoping to get signed, so can't announce those yet. But once we get our full cast, we might get our table read going.
Good. Good.
Nice.
So are you starting any kind of like social for this? Do you have a social for this?
We do. We have our Twitter, we have a TikTok, we've got Instagram, Facebook. The Death of Snow, it's deathofsnowwhite.com is where you can find all the socials and all the updates, the website and everything like that. But Death of Snow White is what to look for on all platforms.
Okay. Okay.
Basically.
Cool.
So
That's good to know. And we're gonna follow that. We're gonna pin it.
Yeah.
John
beautiful.
does this fancy little
I'll get it on there.
Links in
but
description below,
you
whatever.
Yeah.
you
Whatever all
got
that
your
shit
hands
is.
full with a couple of things, and if I'm not mistaken, Laugh is one of them, correct?
Yeah, we're working on Laugh still too, which is going to be filming right after. It was going to start filming in June, but Peter Anthony went ahead and postponed the filming of that to September so that we could get all the stuff planned for Snow White and get that filmed. It would just kind of would have been a kind of a distraction on the Snow White project. So luckily that worked out for everyone in favor to bring Snow White together, and then also because of the tight timeline, but then also for Laugh to be able to do the effects for that because we're doing the special effects,
Nice.
Yeah.
and to try to combine that while we're working on Conjuring and the Bug movie and Snow White, squeeze Laugh in there. Like we really want to make sure that Laugh is everything that Peter is imagining in his head. So
And
we
you
don't.
you worked with Peter before, A Vengeance, right? Am I right?
Yeah, Vengeance 2, Roseblood.
Yeah.
Yep, he's
Yeah.
yep.
Good. Good. So are you acting or doing a creature or a clown or whatever in Laugh?
Yeah, I'm in the trailer, so I think I've already filmed my parts. In the trailer, I have um the officer, the Russian officer that comes in with the gun.
Hmm.
That's me.
Nice.
Uh,
Okay.
and then also the devil who's out there with the girl and the baby and stuff. That's also me. That demon devil person. His name is Malice. So that's also me. And
Mouse?
Malice.
Malice.
Malice. Sorry.
So
Nice.
yep. So yeah, that's me as the devil in the trailer. Um, and just no one's noticed me yet. Like I know we have a lot of friends and fans who've watched it and they're like, "Oh, are you going to be in this?" I'm like, "That's my face right there." And I'm the devil as well. So
So you guys do the Indiegogo is going on for that right now, right? That's
it
being
is.
crowdfunded. Cool.
Yep. And like some people, you can I think it's left. They've been going pretty quick, but there's some options to be in the film. So you could do that. And so yeah, Peter's got some really fun perks. He's really good at the whole perk thing in Indiegogo and getting people excited about that. So some cool stuff coming with that. So
That's a good thing to be. That's a good thing to be good at, because I tell you what, from everybody we talk to through indie films and all this stuff, I mean, crowdfunding seems to be such a drag, dude. Just
fucking
like,
sucks.
yeah, just so much work, and it just
There's
feels like you're doing a whole other project
you
while
are
you're making a movie, you know?
just it's distracting from the creativity of the film. Anyone who's doing in Indiegogo or Kickstarter can tell you managing that takes away from the production of the film itself.
Yeah.
And then it's just go. It's just so difficult and when you're doing it on your own and you're having to like rely on other companies to do things for you and other people to get you different things. It's just a lot of coordination, a lot of work, and a lot of back and forth. It just takes forever. But it's still, I don't want to give the wrong impression. I appreciate everyone who did donate and made it
Yeah.
possible and all that. And I mean, I've donated myself to several campaigns, and some of them I've never gotten anything from, and I
Yeah.
know that happens sometimes. I don't work that way. I want to make sure that we get it out, but it's I do appreciate it. It's just the hard part for me is wanting to please these people and wanting to deliver what they paid for and what they signed up for, and not being able to because you rely on others. That's
Yeah.
the hardest part. And
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people are giving their hard-earned money, and it's
Yeah.
you owe it to, you feel like you owe it to them, and you're putting in a lot of work trying to develop a product that they like, first of all, with just the movie itself, and then deliver on your perks and what have you with that. But for people to get, I mean, it's just cool, man, like the horror community, just to give people giving their hard-earned money just to see you put do what you love to do is I think why we all love the horror genre, and especially people who love
It's
indie
rewarding.
films and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
fans of the best fans for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, it
They
looks
got
like
Yeah.
you
the best
got
hearts.
your yeah, absolutely, man. They really do. We're coming up on 40 minutes here, so it
Oh
looks
wow.
like you got your fucking hands full, man, with a bunch of products. I'm glad you're doing cool things, man, and staying busy. That's awesome.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you so much.
anything you want to plug
Yeah.
during this, you can go ahead and say it now. But if you want to go ahead and send us pictures, like me, whoever was texting, I think I was texting you. Send me pictures. I'll send them over to John. We'll plug them in on here. That way
Okay.
people can see. But anything you want to plug right now, go ahead and say it.
Yeah, I mean, check out Laugh. Laugh right now. It's got the Indiegogo going. You have a chance to be in the film. It's being written and directed by Peter Anthony. And then we have The Death of Snow White coming up, released March of 2025. We're getting that going. So make sure to like and follow all those on there as well. All the social media, keep up the updates. RealFictionStudios.com or Real Fiction Studios Effects on Instagram. Just look up Real Fiction Studios on whatever platform you're on and follow us to keep updated on all that. 259, that's another movie that we are just wrapped on. It's by Cody Newton, our DP, who is amazing. He's an amazing writer director. So we just finished that one. That one should be out here within the next year as well. So we've got 3 feature films in the pipeline just from our core crew. And then many others that we've also been working on that'll be coming out, Killcraft and everything. So just follow us on all the socials. And see all the things we're doing. We have our own makeup line, my partner and I, called Killing It. We got a lot of irons in the fire, a lot of things happening that are kind of fun. So
Hell yeah.
find it all on realfictionstudios.com.
Good. That's
Awesome.
good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. I'm gonna look at all that.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. Yeah, we'll promote the
Uh,
shit out of it on Check the Candy as well.
I
Make
love
sure
it.
everybody
Yeah.
gets it.
I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
100%. But like I said, send me anything over, any pictures that you want in this video, let me know, and we got you, okay?
Sounds good. Appreciate you
Hey,
guys.
yeah, it was a pleasure having you on, man.
Yeah,
You
absolutely, man.
too.
And when the Death of Snow White, when Laugh gets going in production or whatever, and you guys got those everything wrapped or however you want to come on and promote that, would be happy to have you on, man, when that stuff gets going and comes out.
Absolutely. Would love to
Awesome.
Yeah.
get on back on.
I, I
So.
I'd love to have you come in full cosplay of Vengeance too. So
Yeah, just sit there and not say shit the entire
Not say a
time.
word. That'd actually be just like a great 3-minute video, just asking questions. All right, cool. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, once I get that costume on, I'm in character, and
yeah, good.
don't
yeah.
say anything. All right.
Awesome.
Well, it was a pleasure as always. Well, as this time and then later on. But
Later on.
good luck with everything and nice talking to you, homie.
Yeah,
Thanks, you too. Appreciate you guys a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
no problem at all, man. Have a good one.
You too.
Deuces.